Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to show you how we saved a Google ad account in one of the hardest niches. Okay, so this client is in the legal space, but the strategies and things that I'm going to talk about in this video apply to any kind of high competition niche. Okay, so legal, SaaS, sales, marketing, insurance, healthcare. There's a lot of very competitive niches out here. You can see here in the all-time data, this client, sometimes the cost per clicks were reaching, £220, which is absolutely crazy. So what I'm going to do is basically show you the steps that we implemented to help this client and help this account. The purpose of this really is to show off this case study, but of course, I'm hoping some of you watching this today, maybe you're a Google Ads specialist, maybe you're an e-commerce or marketing manager, or maybe even a founder, and you just want to make sure you're not making the same mistakes. Maybe you want to understand the directions or solutions that you might need to take as part of your Google Ads strategy. And following on from that, I want to motivate you to not neglect your Google Ads and just leave it ticking over. This is something I just see all the time with businesses where the Google Ad account has, performed well historically. It's still performing well, but it just kind of ticks over, and it's like they're not really pushing the growth from Google Ads, and they're getting distracted with other marketing channels or whatever. And ultimately, hopefully, some of the tips in here are just going to help you increase your profit and performance from Google Ads. That's ultimately what we all want. So the problems that this client had, right? Huge amount of competition, so very competitive. They were unsure on the directions or solutions they needed to take or test. Very high cost per clicks because of the competition. Again, like I showed you a second ago, these cost per clicks sometimes between £100 and £219 per click. So for one click, they're paying £219, which is crazy. Now that, just to preface, that was the all-time data. We've managed to help them average an £11 cost per click, which isn't too bad. High cost per conversions because of the competition, and again, just because they were making quite a lot of mistakes, they just ultimately weren't getting the ROI that they wanted. And there was lots of hidden problems that they weren't even aware of, okay, which we helped them identify, and I'm going to show you some of them in a second. So moving swiftly on. So the outcome, okay, so what did we help this client achieve? Okay, so first off, they stopped wasting between £5,000 and £15,000 a month on ads, okay? I haven't just plucked that figure out of midair. I'm going to show you how I came to those figures. We've literally helped them save that much. I'm going to show you how. More leads were converting, so their overall conversion rate went up. They were getting much less spam through, and just a hell of a lot of wasted spend and time, and ultimately a much better ROI from Google Ads. So the first thing they were doing wrong, right? They were following Google's optimization score and rep advice. Okay, now I could talk for hours about this topic, but basically here were some core issues because of what they were doing. They had display targeting switched on all the search campaigns, okay? So they were wasting thousands a month on display targeting. There's nothing wrong with display targeting. Personally, I think it's best in retargeting campaigns. And if you are going to run display campaigns, you're best off having them separate, not mixed in with your search campaigns. And we were able to really clearly show this client that their ads were being shown on like kids' YouTube channels and things like that. And just irrelevant websites. This was a law firm, someone in the legal space, and they were just wasting tons of budget on display targeting mixed with their search campaigns. They also had site link extensions that were taking people away from their designated landing pages, so this was causing much higher cost per clicks, and ultimately they had a lot of designated landing pages for the traffic, and people were getting sent to like other random pages, and it was messing up with the tracking and stuff as well. Lots of irrelevant traffic, again, just mainly due to like Google, pushing broad keywords on them a bit too hard, and they were struggling to like actually maintain those, and so there was a lot of irrelevant traffic that was appearing in the account. And they had auto apply recommendations turned on across everything. So look, Google's AI is pretty good, but it still has a long way to go, and the auto apply recommendations, in my opinion, should never be turned on. And so this is where the AI is making changes in the account for you, which I just don't really agree with. Google seems to be pushing this kind of cookie cutter approach to every account, and in my opinion, after like 10 years of doing Google Ads, Every account is different, every business is different, they all require a different approach. So yeah, really don't recommend having those things switched on. Tracking was crap. This was the next thing. Okay, so to be really blunt, the tracking was pretty crap. Okay, I'll just go to the next slide. Yeah, lots of irrelevant conversions. So they had like page views as a conversion, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. Google sometimes puts that in there for you, and I don't know why, because if you're paying Google per click on your ad, of course you're expecting page views. So yeah, it was really inflating the conversion numbers. They had lots of conversions that weren't working. It was just a bit of a mess. Inflated call numbers as well. Real lack of clarity on the call tracking, which is something we're still helping them with. There's software out there and things you can do to better track your phone calls. And they had like no CRM tracking. So this is huge, right? So it was difficult to really see the ROI of the campaigns and track the lead right through to the end result. So we helped them install this. I'm not going to spend too long on this because CRM tracking is huge. This is something we do for pretty much all of our clients. But by installing the CRM tracking, we were able to see in their CRM where the leads were coming from by source. So obviously they were running other marketing campaigns on TikTok and stuff as well, but also by campaign. So we were able to really break down the Google ad campaigns to see, where the ROI was kind of really coming from. And it also just gave us really interesting insights. So for instance, we were able to see for this client that the phone call conversions were much higher than the lead form conversions. So we started to push phone calls a bit more. We added more call to actions. We started to kind of push people to jump on the phone rather than fill out the form. And long term, that's just going to really help their conversion rates because we could see that was working better for them. And ultimately, we had much better ROI accuracy and campaign optimization because we were able to see what was working and what wasn't, and yeah, just much more clarity and like an overall picture of what's really working, which is so crucial. Minimal spam prevention. This is the next thing, right? So they were wasting so much money on spam. Okay, so again, I'm not going to spend too long on this, but one thing that we install for all of our clients is some software called ClickCease. So this reduces typically people using like VPNs or people that click on the ads like multiple times. It typically stops those people. You can see here that in September alone, we saved them £6,500 on ads because this software was able to save them wasted spend from, again, people using VPNs mainly, but there was also, you do get like competitors and people and bots and stuff that basically just try and waste your spend, okay? So this is really good at preserving that. We also helped them with some better kind of server security. So again, blocking out certain countries and just some better form security, so it was a little bit harder for bots to just fill out the form and things like that, which again was saving them a lot of wasted time and spend and headaches. So yeah, the Google reCAPTCHA and just adding some kind of like checkboxes and things on the forms that yeah really helped to reduce the spam. And ultimately, so some of these things I've just spoken about are a bit outside of the box, like the spam and the tracking. But really this account was just not managed or optimized properly, mainly because it was just very heavily focused on all of the Google recommendations and stuff, which again I really don't agree with. So how we approached this was, first we did like a really in-depth audit, and then we fixed a lot of the quick wins. So I'll show you just as an example like what some of these things were. I've spoken about a few of them over the last couple of minutes, but yeah, this is literally what we wrote in the email to them. These are some things we want to fix ASAP. So it was improving the conversion tracking, removing display targeting from campaigns because they were wasting so much budget on that, excluding irrelevant places where ads were showing, launch and test new remarketing campaigns, which have gone really well. We also pushed them to launch some retargeting on Meta, which again works really well. Removing Google auto-apply recommendations and suggestions, reviewing all the irrelevant keywords. So this is something we constantly filter and exclude, but this needed like a bulk job doing at the start. And as part of that, we set up a master negative keyword list for them. We launched and tested some new PMAX campaigns, although they didn't actually go too well. We're mainly focused on search for this client. A/B testing more ads, which worked really well. We started like pinning headlines and things, which saw a much better click-through rate and conversion rate from that. And we knew there was a lot of keyword gaps, so we did a lot of keyword research and basically filled the gaps on certain campaigns. They were missing some like really good solicitor and law terms and things, so yeah, we added those in. And so instantly, within a week, we've like massively improved the account just off that base first audit. Just really quickly, this is something we do actually offer for free. If you're currently investing into Google Ads, we do offer free audits. Just hit me up on LinkedIn or drop us an email if you want us to do one of those for you. Now let me just go back to these slides quickly. And then really our strategy, apart from some of those things that were outside of the box that I was talking about, we really started to run a lot of A/B tests. So A/B testing different bidding strategies, A/B testing ads, A/B testing landing pages. In my opinion, sometimes this can be a risk, and again, this is something I don't see enough agencies and specialists and freelancers doing, is they're not doing enough testing. Sometimes when you do a test, it doesn't work, and it's not the end of the world, but by continually testing, you can continue to improve your conversion rates, you can continue to improve the account. And what I see all the time is that accounts just tick over because they're at an okay place, and so they just leave it running and doing some basic optimizations. But by really pushing and doing proper A/B tests, you can really scale and improve an account over time. Again, just a proper optimization plan and schedule. And really what it comes down to is just having as much control as possible, because they were allowing Google to make all the AI changes through AI, and they were listening to like rep advice. They didn't really have much control, and this is just so important in my opinion for Google Ads, especially with a high competition niche an account such as this. You want to have as much control on the Google Ads as possible and really have things broken down as granular as possible. And just quickly to round up, here's a couple of extra things that we focused on. In-depth landing page reviews and tests. I kind of mentioned that a second ago, but we really reviewed what landing pages were working, what wasn't, and just basically tried to replicate and do more of what was working. And then we did our own tests and split tests to just keep improving, basically. We also helped them with their lead automation. I'll probably do a separate video on this, but we really helped them with their lead automation and improvements. So just looking at how they were following up with leads, any like automated campaigns they were doing basically, and more retargeting. This is something again I mentioned already, but we really pushed retargeting because it's so important for any brands to be retargeting. So of course we did this on Google, but we pushed them to retarget on Meta and stuff as well, which just really helped basically generate more leads and improve their overall conversion rates. Okay, so now, one of the main points I want to get across here is with Google Ads, it's not really just about what you do in the account. It's not just about, what bidding strategy you use or how you structure your campaigns. A lot of it's what you do outside of the account. So your tracking, your spam prevention, your landing pages. So I just really want you guys to think about that. Like, don't get too obsessed with the nitty-gritty details within the Google Ad account. It's often all of the things that you're doing outside that really has a huge effect. And we often see the biggest jumps in growth and conversion rates from that outside stuff, rather than, yes, you can do an A/B test on a bidding strategy, and sometimes that can have a crazy improvement, or it might not work, and you might see a huge lift in conversions and a decrease in the cost per conversion, but often it's the things that you're doing outside of the account that really makes a big difference. And so just to round up again, like I said, we were easily saving this client, between 5,000 and 15,000 a month on ads. Just the click cease alone was saving them, about $6,000. The display targeting, they were wasting at least $5,000 a month on ads, and then the irrelevant keywords. So, they're getting a much better value for their money these days. And yeah, like I said, more leads were converting, better overall conversion rate. They left us a really nice review on our Trustpilot and Google page. And yeah, that is kind of a quick overview of this case study. I'm hoping some of the tips in here are going to help you guys out. Like I said, if you want us to do a free audit on your Google Ads, give me a shout.